Alright, this clip of Donald Trump talking about our service members is absolutely disgusting. Every time this man steps in front of a camera or steps on stage in front of a mic, he drops to new lows, and yesterday was no different when Trump spoke in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, only hours before J.D. Vance took the debate stage and lost to Tim Walz, and we'll cover that. But first, I want to break down this clip of J.D. Vance giving a speech today in Michigan where he immediately dropped the aw shucks nice guy bit, and he starts saying that Tim Walz is dumb, essentially. If you guys are enjoying this video, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and let's jump in with this clip right here.
Now, it's funny because, we did this debate, and then I talked to the president afterwards, and we talked a little bit about, what actually happened, and, some of the points that I made, some of the points that Governor Walz made, and, he made this observation. He said that Tim Walz said that he was friends with school shooters twice.
He clearly misspoke.
And that's something I actually didn't notice, that Tim Walz had said that on the debate stage. And I said, did he really say that, sir? And he said, I'm telling you, man, go and watch the clips. He said he was friends with school shooters twice. And I said that was probably only the third or fourth dumbest comment Tim Walz made that night then. Because look, I got to be honest, I feel a little bad for Governor Walz.
This dude is a phony. On the debate stage, he said, let's focus on the future. I want to have a more forward-looking message. And now he is already back to attacking Tim Walz and VP Harris. Also, I love that moment on the debate stage when Tim Walz pressed J.D. Vance on whether or not Trump won or lost the 2020 election. That was an amazing clip. And the VP Harris campaign actually already turned that into an ad that I would like to show you right here. This is clever. Take a look.
It's really rich for Democratic leaders to say that Donald Trump is a unique threat to democracy when he peacefully gave over power.
He is still saying he didn't lose the election. I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future.
That is a damning non-answer. America, I think you've got a really clear choice of who's going to honor that democracy and who's going to honor Donald Trump.
Run it in all 50 states right now, especially the swing states. Actually, keep it mainly in the swing states. We don't want to waste money on the other states. But this clip right here is the one I wanted to show you of Donald Trump talking about Iran launching ballistic missiles, and he confuses head trauma with a headache. This man has no understanding of the world around him, and that causes him to just come off as an asshole.
Attacks from Iran, but also, do you believe that you should have been tougher on Iran after they had launched ballistic missiles in 2020 on U.S. forces in Iraq, leaving more than 100 U.S. soldiers injured?
So, first of all, injured. What does injured mean? Injured means you mean because they had a headache, because the bombs never hit the fort. So just so you understand, there was nobody ever tougher in Iraq. They had no money with me. They would have made any deal with me. I would have had a deal made within, literally, I would have had a deal made within one.
This entire ecosystem is beyond parody. It's like Rudy Giuliani level scamming at this point. Donald Trump is standing here covered in orange, leaning against his podium, saying that they would have done deals with him like no one else would have ever done deals with him. On the left side of the screen, we have an ivermectin ad that says, "We've got you covered, contagion emergency gift, make care great again." It's all just so absolutely insane. Jared Ryan in the reply says, "Wow, Trump is still repeating the headache line when our service members suffered severe head trauma. This is how little Trump cares about our military. He dismisses injuries that happened on his watch because of his strike, and he never did anything to Iran for the attack. And now he thinks Iran and Iraq are the same nation." Donald Trump's brain is mush at this point.
Iran, but also,
absolutely insane stuff. Also, Jojo from Jur says, are we just not going to talk about what the F is going on with his face right now? He looks so orange and old, not to throw around personal insults, because that's not what we do here. We talk about policy, but damn.
Attacks from Iran.
Damn. On to this next clip of J.D. Vance saying that Trump took a bullet for democracy. This did not happen.
Because these guys, they love to talk about threats to democracy. Well, as Donald Trump will often remind you, he took a bullet for democracy. So I don't think that any person can accuse the guy of doing anything other than fighting every single day to make this country more prosperous and to make the world more peaceful.
Are these guys trolling us at this point? Donald Trump has put himself above the American citizens every single step of the way, whether it's him grifting off of them and selling watches or cryptocurrency, or him convincing half of the country that the election was stolen so he can get money and grift off them even more. Every single thing he does is in the interest of himself and not actually helping the American people. A great example is during the pandemic, he sent out checks to the American people and he signed his name on these checks to try to convince them that the money came out of his pocket, and I had friends that actually fell for it. I remember I was in high school and my friends were saying, you know, Trump is actually sending that money from his own pocket. So the broader point here is that even when Trump is trying to help American citizens through a bill passed from Congress, he is still putting his name on it and making it about himself. JD Vance is absolutely wrong here. I have another clip to play of Donald Trump, but first I want to play you this clip of Lawrence O'Donnell saying that JD Vance is, quote, the very first presidential candidate in history who doesn't even know who won the last election. This is a brutal takedown.
His technique is to not answer. It makes him, by the way, the very first vice presidential candidate in history who doesn't know who won the last election. That's his place in this transition.
Where did you see this job listing?
But so
Are the Republicans already in office?
It came at the end of a long list of questions that he simply didn't answer. He said words, but didn't answer. For example, the first one he didn't answer. Norah O'Donnell asked him, Donald Trump says climate change is a hoax. Do you agree? That's a one-word answer, yes or no. He didn't answer that. He just kept talking. He was then asked, Margaret Brennan asked him, will you separate parents from children, even if the children are U.S. citizens? No answer. Did not answer that question. Your budget plan, Donald Trump's budget plan, will cost $5 trillion added to the national debt. What's your solution to that? No answer. Will you monitor pregnancy? Got an answer. He said no. Actually said no to that. Finally, there was an answer. He was then asked, where are you going to seize the federal lands to build on? And he gave no answer. Now, that's a really important question. If you're trying to build anything in America, we really want to know where it is. And a lot of people don't want it to be in their backyard.
And then, of course, Walz followed up on that by saying, so when you seize the federal land for the housing, is that also the federal land you're seizing for the drilling? Are we having people live in the oil derricks? Yeah. Are they all going to be together? No answer.
No answer. And
amazing segment right here. And I see a Trump supporter in the replies on Twitter of MSNBC, and they said, oh yeah, millions of people think the election was stolen. You still can't tell us how the results magically changed overnight. Do these people get confused when they watch a football game? When they're watching the Super Bowl and they go to the bathroom for a bit or go make food and one team is then ahead, are they like, how did this magically change? They don't know how counting the score of anything works. Here's Donald Trump looking old, and most of his press conference yesterday was an incoherent, rambling mess exactly like this. Just watch.
I think that a state like Iowa and Idaho and Indiana, I think you'd end up, I was looking at him the other night, just from common sense, with a party of common sense. And I said, more than anything else now, with a party of common sense, because that's more important than anything else. We don't want men in women's sports.
I don't even know what he's talking about. What's the topic here? I don't get it. Finally, I want to play you this clip of JD Vance. When he's asked, he's confronted, why wouldn't you answer the question regarding who won the 2020 debate?
Hi, Senator. Will Jones from Local 4.
Hey, Will.
I spoke with some elected officials or election officials last week about their concern about people who are trying to undermine our elections. Why didn't you answer the question last night during the debate about who won the 2020 presidential election?
Well, look, here's the simple reason. The media is obsessed with talking about the election of 4 years ago. I'm focused on the election of 33 days from now because I want to...
Lord have mercy. A terrible non-answer, and I hate when Republicans try to gaslight us into thinking that the 2020 election wasn't a big deal, January 6th wasn't a big deal. They are trying to collectively erase it from our minds so that we forget how Donald Trump acted. He threw a tantrum on the national stage before the election even took place by saying that it was going to be stolen in 100 different ways. He then said that he won the election on election night before before the results were even counted, he spent months battling in courts, which honestly, that's fine. He has the right to battle in courts, but then the problem is when he takes these extra legal routes where he tries to pressure election officials, pressure Mike Pence, and that is why Mike Pence is no longer his VP. So do not let JD Vance gaslight you into thinking that the 2020 election needs to be left in the past. No, it is a perfect example of Trump's character flaws. If you appreciate what I do, if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, have a great rest of your day, and peace out.